as promised, I'm going to make some Halloween-related content and horror movie reviews and breakdowns and things like that this month, because October is my favorite month of the year. There's Thanksgiving in Canada, and then Thanksgiving in the US in November, so both of my favorite months actually yield delicious food. And then there's, of course, Halloween in October, and my birthday's in November, so fall is my favorite season. I am very, very stoked for fall. And I was very, very stoked to see the new It movie last week, and it was really good. So my enthusiasm paid off. It was a really well done movie. The acting was amazing. Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise was incredible. The child actors gave really, really good performances. And there was a sincerity to the movie that I didn't expect. I really, really thought it was well made. That being said, it wasn't scary, which surprised me. I expected it to be a scarier movie. The premise is scary. I've had a lifelong fear of clowns. I remember I was at I think a fundraiser or something with my mom at a hospital when I was a kid once, and one of the doctors was dressed up as a clown, and he leapt around this staircase that you could go under. He leapt out from under it and cackled at me, and it scared the living shit out of me. And I was 4, and ever since I've hated clowns. So I expected to have some anxiety in this movie, and I really didn't, because even though it was well performed and well directed and the scenes were really, really well shot, and I think the writing was really good, there's a special effect that just completely ruined it for me. Basically, anytime Pennywise would lunge at people, they would make its head bobble back and forth with this ridiculous sound effect, and I don't know what exactly they were going for, but it did not scare me at all. It just made me just kind of chuckle, and it just completely would undercut the tension of any of the scenes. And for example, I don't want to be too specific because I don't want to spoil the movie for people who haven't seen it, but there is this scene in the movie where Pennywise appears on this projector, and then slowly, a bunch of pictures start flipping by, and its face becomes superimposed over the person's face that's in the picture, and then it comes out of the screen and it's giant. And I don't know, I feel like that particular scene would have been so much more effective if, when they had it disappear from the frame, suddenly it was behind them and normal sized. That would have been a much more effective way to do that, in my opinion, because the way they did it there was just so cartoony that, again, it just undercut what was, very scary, build-up. And I think that's where the movie really failed, and I hope they improve it in the next one, because Jesus. But, all in all, again, the acting was just incredible. The characters really made you have a lot of feeling. The end of the movie, there was actually a scene where I cried. Again, I'm not going to spoil it, but it was just such feels. And all in all, I just was really impressed with the movie. I thought it was a great movie. I would probably go see it again. I'm waiting for my movie pass to come in the mail first, because cheap movies. And yeah, it was a really good movie. That being said, after the movie premiered, I noticed a disturbing trend of Tumblr posts, and there's a reason I don't spend a lot of time on this particular cesspool of the internet, just like I don't really spend a lot of time on Reddit. Both sites I lurk a lot more than I post, because posting often means interacting with just the worst people. And some of the worst people on Tumblr have a new Pennywise fetish obsession. It's a thing. Some of it is just downright pedophilic fan art, which is just probably shouldn't be on the internet, but whatever, I guess. I'm pretty sure that just accidentally scrolling on that in my feed has put me on a fucking watch list. I don't understand how you just post that. But whatever. And then there's posts about tender sweet lovin' with Pennywise, and then other posts about just all manner of weirdness. And at first when I saw them, I was like, oh, these must be satire, this has to be a joke. I don't know why I thought it was a joke. I know that Rule 34 is a thing. I know that the internet for some reason sees that rule as a challenge. But I was not expecting it. I guess I wasn't as surprised as I should have been, or as I wish I had been, though, once I was realizing, oh god, this is real, this is real, this is really real. Cool. That's also the same reaction, by the way, I had to finding out about the child sex scene in the book, which I have not read, to be honest. I like some movies adapted from Stephen King books, but I don't actually like Stephen King's novels at all. I know some people love him, but I can't stand it. Like, I don't like his writing style, and there's all kinds of weird shit in there. He's just a weird guy. So yeah, no, I've not read the book, and I now have no intention of doing so because ew. And I feel like that's the one thing that really bugs me about this franchise, is there's just so much latent pedophilia surrounding it that it makes me uncomfortable. And I don't know, the way that it's portrayed, especially in the book, as like some kind of weird coming of age pact, like, oh my god. I don't really understand his defense of it either. The whole thing just kind of grosses me out. Like, I don't understand why you would write that scene. That's such an unnecessary scene. The way they handled in the movie is a much better replacement that I just vastly prefer. Because, oh my god. Like, someone who read it told me that it's even worse than it sounds, and I'm just like, how can it be worse than it sounds? But I'm not curious enough to find out. It's too much. Good god. So, yeah, the movie's great. The fandom's fucking weird. It's the kind of thing where now, like, if I see someone, like, wearing a t-shirt from the movie, I'm just gonna be like, what's your deal? Like, what are you doing? What are you about? Are you a clussy grabber? Is that what you are? You know, like, oh my god. Oh yeah, that's a word that I now know. I kind of, like, you can kind of tell what it means by the sound of it, but, like, I googled it anyway because I had to be sure. Mistake. So yeah, that is my review of it and my griping about the weirdness of the fandom. So watch the movie, but stay off of any Tumblr posts about the movie, unless you like to get weird. Alright, that's everything I have for you for now. Be the same, bitches.